Hey there, avid listeners, and Happy New Year! Hope you're all enjoying 2021 so far. Today we're going to be talking about Rage and Ruin by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I have to say this is one of those books that I kind of really loved. I read the first book. I love the first book. And the reason behind why I love this series so much is because it is about gargoyles. It does have angels, it does have demons, but there are also gargoyles, and I'm a huge fan of the Gargoyles animated cartoon. Would really love to see the cast come back and kind of do a live action version, but I'm here for it. I am here for gargoyles, and that's why I kind of love this story, because it really is something unique to me. I have not, in all my time of reading, come across gargoyles in literature as sort of central figures, and moreover as protagonists. They are the heroes in the context. And that's not something I've come across. I've seen gargoyles in literature, don't get me wrong, but they're usually being controlled by someone evil. They're usually just a statue. It's that someone evil, a wizard or something, brought to life for the time being. So I really haven't seen gargoyles come to life in the way that Armentrout brings them to life. And I love how this story really navigates. You see the first novel, and I think the first novel is a really good starting point for this series. I really do think that the author did a great job with establishing the world and the characters, but a lot has happened throughout the course of that novel. Trinity left her home. She has a new protector, Zane, who she is very attracted to. And there's a lot of tension there. So I really do think that it presents something to the reader. It really does give the reader something unique. It gives the reader something fresh. It gives the reader something new. And I know those are all synonyms, but I can't stress that enough, that Armentrout has done something really incredible here. Now, first and foremost, this story, world building's done. We have our establishments. We know what's going on. We don't need any more of that. Great. Awesome. I love how Armentrout's just like, you guys know the world. I don't need to rehash it for you. She does drop little hints, a year. I do appreciate when authors do that, because sometimes, a year passes between books, and a lot of readers don't have a lot of time to reread previous books, or they have their enormous to-be-read pile, like myself. So I do appreciate when authors just drop little recaps. Gargoyles, they exist in our world. They are protectors between angels and demons. And the world is aware that gargoyles do exist. I think that that's very cool. That's it. That's all we need to know. And then throughout the story, she does remind us about instances, Trinity's mother, her death, Trinity's relationship with her former protector, how they were friends. But what she does more, but what she does more is she delves more into the past of the demons. She delves into the past of the angels and the gargoyles. And it's interesting and unique, because there's a lot of lore there. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of mysticism that even they are unaware of. There's a lot of history going back to ancient times that these characters are really just starting to uncover. And there's also a lot of high tension that really lends itself to increasing the pace of the story. So it really is a fast-paced story that really glues the reader to the story. And I love it. I do love this pacing. I do love how I was hooked. I was hooked from beginning to end. I do not think that this novel faltered at all. I really do think it's a great sequel. I love the depth that is added. I love the development that is added to the characterization, because we're really seeing these characters in a more fragile state than in the previous novel. They weren't really fragile to begin with. I don't think we really got to see just how fragile they were in the previous novel, but given the events of Storm and Fury, especially for Trinity and Zane, they were supposed to be each other's, they were supposed to have the bond initially, but, life happens. Nothing went according to plan. Zane met the half demon, half gargoyle chick, and Trinity's uncles got it wrong. They got who her protector was supposed to be wrong and kind of screwed up a lot. But, they didn't intend to. They thought they were doing something right. And for Trinity, she still does have her disability. Before, she never really wanted to recognize her retinitis. She has retinitis pigmentosa. She's slowly going blind in her eyes. So she does have a blind spot. And what I did appreciate with this novel is, in the first novel, she didn't really acknowledge that it's a disability, which is fine. Great. More power to you. And I thought it was really empowering for her. But I think in this novel, she does recognize that her retinitis pigmentosa is a disability. But she's learning how to fight better despite it. She's learning how to use her disability to her advantage to make her a better fighter. And I think that that's really a step up from the first novel, because Armentrout is saying to the reader, your disabilities do not define you. You don't have to ignore them or pretend they don't exist, but you don't have to let them define you either. And I think on some level, Trinity was letting them define her. She was letting her disability define how she was fighting, and now she has to compensate for it, because it did come back and bite her in the tush many times. So I think it's really good that she's stepping up to the plate. She's becoming a better fighter. She's opening up more to Zane and to her new friends. She's taking on a new perspective. And I really do, like I said earlier, think that adds more depth and development to her characterization, and it adds a lot to her relationship with Zane, because they've been through a lot. There are lots of things they aren't supposed to be doing that they have to kind of fight and contend with. So it adds a lot of tension to the story with their relationship, and it develops their relationship a lot. And I think that they've grown not just as a dynamic. They did have a great dynamic in the previous novel, but I think in this novel, their dynamic has grown, it has flourished, and it really does give something to the reader. It does give the reader a really good relationship to read, to put it lamely. But you know what? My final thoughts on this are, it was an incredible sequel. I don't think I could start off I'm so glad I'm starting off the year with a book I love. It really is a good novel. I really do love it. I'm so excited for the third book, Grace and Glory. I'm gonna pre-order that like I did with this one. But I'm really hoping that I'm gonna get an arc, much like with Rage and Ruin, to read and review. So once again, this was Rage and Ruin. I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4.5 stars. I think it was incredible. I think it's a really good, solid story. I really do think it continues the story and narrative in a really thoughtful way. And you know what? It has gargoyles. Come on. Gargoyles, angels, demons, good characterization, amazing plot, fast pace. I love it. I love it. I can't say any more good things about it because I think I'm going to be a broken record at this point. In any case, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Happy New Year once again. And please, if you like this podcast, please do not forget to like it. Please subscribe to my channel. And please share it with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And as always, happy reading.